This is a personal training session for you. I'm going to go through some of the exercises we're going to be using and give you a little more detail on exactly how to execute them. The first one is the squat. You want to have the feet at least shoulder width apart. You want to think about it like sitting down in a chair. So you actually will stick the behind out and up. I think it's easier if you practice it with your arms straight out. So try that. Straight down and up. Now you do have to stick the behind out. So I would practice this with a chair behind you. Get your butt close to the chair and then stand up. Now your stomach is tight, your shoulders stay pinched. As you go down, the weight is on the heels. As you come up, you press the heels into the floor. You do not want to be going up on the toes like that. That would be very bad for the knees. Always think about sitting back. Now this would be a nice shallow squat to start with. As you get stronger, you'll be able to go lower. So it's something that you definitely would like to practice because this is a major exercise for the lower body, also working the abdominals. When you use weights, hand weights, don't hold your hands out there anymore. You should be stronger at it. You'll want to hold the dumbbells at the side, very close to the side, outside the knees. If you hold them in front of you, you're going to put stress on the back. If you hold them like this, that's also going to put stress on your back. Do not do that. Keep them down at your side. The other exercise you'll do quite a bit of, lunges. The lunge position, you want to have it nice and far apart. Shoulders pinched, and think about keeping the elbows back. That'll help keep your body in a nice straight line. You drop both knees down and come right back up. The stomach stays tight. The hands, if you have dumbbells, can be here or on the hips. You will go straight down and up, pressing through the heel of the front leg. You do not want to lift that heel because if you do, you can injure your knee. You can do a shallow or you can go deep until that opposite knee almost touches the floor. Now the one thing I find most people do is they get their feet too close together and then they've got nowhere to go. So if you feel cramped, it's because your leg's not far back enough. You might have to balance a little bit, hold on to something, and move that toe back like this to get it nice and far apart. But the farther apart it is, the easier it will be to do a nice lunge. And you'll actually be more stable as well. Another exercise that might need some extra help, your row. Feet can be shoulder width or a little narrow. Stomach is tight, shoulders are back. You're going to bend forward at the hips, keeping the back straight. The arms are going to go down and up. Keep the shoulder blades pulled down towards the hips. You don't want them up here. You want them down towards the hips. Belly button always stays pressed into the spine. So you should feel that low back and belly button work together as you pull through and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Now what might help you when you're doing that, if you start coming up like this, you're going to be working a totally different muscle group. So think about your head being against the wall. Sometimes it's helpful just to put your head against the wall, look down, do the exercise. Notice how my knees are slightly bent. If the knees were straight or locked, you could injure the low back. So keep the knees slightly bent. When you think about getting into this posture, you'll start with the knees bent, you'll tip over, drop the shoulders towards the hips, pull through either with the hands this way or this way. Good. Coming up top. Now we're also going to practice a tricep extension. You can do it with the feet apart. Again, your base position would be knees bent, stomach tight. The hands can actually go up overhead with both dumbbells, and you can put them together. When you do that, keep the stomach extra tight. The elbows point to the ceiling as the dumbbells go behind your head and back up. Now, if you find that your back starts to arch, then it's okay to stagger your feet. If you have a step, you can actually place one foot on top of the step. This helps keep your alignment a little bit straighter. Now, if the two dumbbells are too much for you, you can use one at a time. You can do two things. Use two hands, like that, or you can hold a dumbbell sideways. That also keeps your elbows in a nice tall position. Excellent. And bringing it down. Now with the rotator cuff exercise, you'll bring the elbows up to the side. Think of it like a scarecrow. You rotate up and slowly down. It's very important that you do it slowly and controlled, and if you don't feel like you can keep those elbows up, if you find them dropping like this, then just stop doing the exercise or put the dumbbells down. The rotator cuff is a very complex muscle group and you don't want to compromise it. You want to strengthen it. So those elbows should stay up. You should be able to look to the side and see them nice and high. Good, and don't worry if you can't come all the way up like this or almost all the way down like that, that's okay. That's part of the exercise and that's how you will get stronger. You'll notice your range of motion increase. Now, the last thing I want to cover with you is a leg curl. These are excellent for the back of the leg. The hamstring runs from behind the knee up to the glutes. And when that hamstring is weak, it affects the entire body. And it does get weak because we don't exercise it as much. And the front of our legs get tight. So when we do the hamstring curl, you put the dumbbell behind your knee and you pull that heel up behind you like that. You will keep it there with your own strength because you want the hamstring to stay tight. If it starts to fall down like this, see what happens? You lose your dumbbell. So that will be an indication to you that you're not keeping that hamstring tight, and that is half the exercise. So I would practice this first, just holding it in position and keeping that heel up, using something for balance like a chair or table if you need to, but you keep the stomach tight and just work on that posture before you actually do the exercise. The actual exercise is just moving the leg back slightly. The body stays straight. There is no leaning forward. There is no movement side to side. So that can be a tricky one to balance with. So I would definitely recommend that you practice that a little bit along with the other ones before doing the entire program.